Welcome back to Thrifty Whiskey, where we drink whiskey that won't break the bank. I'm Josh.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Eric.
And I can already smell this whiskey, so let's go ahead and just jump right in.
Oh.
The heck? This is not what I was expecting.
Sour banana.
It's sour, all right.
Sour banana bread.
Oh, no, you're right. That's sour banana bread. I like it better now that I recognize it.
With a little bit of chocolate chip.
Who puts chocolate chips in their banana bread?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Gross.
Joyce and I both do.
Gross.
You ever had a chocolate chip banana nut bread muffin?
No. Yes, I have. But chocolate does not belong with bananas.
Absolutely.
Chocolate covered
Bananas belong with nuts.
They all three go together.
Chocolate, get out of here. Don't put chocolate chips in your banana bread.
I'm going to go and drink this whiskey now.
I don't love this nose.
Chocolate on the finish.
Ooh.
But it's like almost sherry, fruity, jammy on the front.
What is that?
This is like a fruit preserve.
This is like...
What the frick is this?
What is this?
Fig.
Fig.
It is jammy.
Like, I don't just mean like I don't mean like, oh, it tastes like fruit jam. Like, no, this is jammy.
Like, yeah. It is jammy, and there's a weird chocolate note that I appreciate. Weird.
It's not a jammy. It's not like the finish is jammy. The finishes like the jammy. Like you had like a spoonful of jam, and now I'm starting to wonder if the coloring is real or if it's because it seemed pretty dark.
Watch yours too, because
The water,
the air
totally changes it. It's a much softer.
This is a much more enjoyable nose.
Oh, water really brings the cocoa out.
This is
It's almost white chocolate.
This is bringing out a craft American whiskey taste for me now. Like I don't think this is craft American whiskey, but there's a note there that reminds me of craft American craft whiskey. Why are you giving me that face?
Do you know what you sound like right now? I like the nose much more with water, and so this whole whiskey has...
I like it
Turn a
all
page.
around, without.
I think it smells good and tastes good with water. I don't think I like it better.
And that fig is still prominent.
And like the jammy preserviness.
Yeah, I just got raisin.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's fig, raisin, jam.
No, like I'm picking those flavors apart. Like I'm getting raisin and fig and
Yeah.
It's a very complex, fruity whiskey.
and prune.
You know what? You're right. I don't think I've ever been like, yeah, prune. Absolutely. That's great. Prune. Good prunes.
Nose, I'm giving this a 4.5. I really like the notes that I was getting. When I got to the palate, I got more than I bargained for. So I'm actually going with a 5 on the palate. The complexity, I just absolutely love this. And it keeps getting better and better with every sip to me. In the finish, I'm giving this a 4.5 on the finish. It was a nice, even, smooth, well-timed finish.
The very first thing I said when I picked up this whiskey was, ugh. I'm giving it a 3.5 on the nose. It grew on me quite a bit. I found myself just sniffing it while he was talking about his ratings. I really want to give it a 5, but I'm giving it a 4.5 on the palate. I loved the palate on this whiskey, and I'm giving it a 4.5 on the finish.
I'm going to go 4 on the nose. The only problem with it is the sourness of that sour banana bread. If it was just remove that sourness, it would have been 4.5, maybe 5. I'm going to give the palate a 4.5. Wow. Like, I was not expecting, even off the nose, I was not expecting how good that palate was. I'm giving the finish a 5. That finish.
Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting that, like, I don't think we've ever given
a finish of 5.
I don't think I've ever given a finish a 5.
I don't know if
finish
we have ever given
I don't think we've ever given a finish a higher rating than the nose
Yeah.
and the palate.
No,
The way the jammy notes just kind of stuck around and it finished with like a jam and cocoa, like, oh my gosh. The important part is that it's complex, but not in a way that's going like this way, this way, this way, this way.
Right. It's
complex and like woven together.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and start talking about our guesses. We're going to talk about what kind of whiskey we think this is, what we think the proof is, what we think the retail price is, and then how much we willing to pay to get a bottle on our shelf.
I think these fig notes and prune and raisin that I'm getting, it is definitely leaning me towards an Irish. I'm going to say this maxes out at 35. Definitely pay 35. I'm going to go 90 proof.
87 proof Irish whiskey. This retails for 32. I would happily pay $35 for it.
I'm going to go single malt scotch. I'm going to go 35, 86 proof. So let's go ahead and figure out what we drink. But before we do, if you like what we're doing, head down below, hit that like button, give a comment, tell us what you think of this whiskey before we reveal it. By the way, if you ever want to have a bottle on the show, just hit that thanks button, leave a donation of at least $30 or more, and just type into that message what whiskey you want, and we'll do our best to get it on the show. And now, Joyce will tell you what bottle it is.
Today you're drinking Quantum Spirits Copper Whiskey. Quantum Spirits Copper Whiskey is a rye whiskey from the Quantum Spirits Distillery in Carnegie, Pennsylvania. It is made with locally sourced rye and aged using the Solera system. The Solera system is a method of aging spirits that involves filling a series of barrels at different intervals over a long period of time. As whiskey from the oldest barrel is bottled, the barrel is refilled with an equivalent amount of whiskey from the second oldest barrel in the Solera. This process ensures flavor and aroma consistency over time. Quantum Spirits Copper Whiskey is bottled at 94 proof. We paid the average price of $35 for our bottle. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy.
Today we drank...
Oh! What?
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 I didn't see it.
Oh, the distillery. That's all I saw.
This is Quantum Spirits. This is their copper whiskey. They do a Solera aging system, which I can't explain, but basically it doesn't allow them you be able to use straight in any kind of capacity, because they basically take a barrel and they'll have like whiskey, and then they'll move some of that whiskey into another barrel that already has whiskey, and then move some of that whiskey into a barrel that has below it that has some whiskey, and then move some of that whiskey into another barrel that has some whiskey below it, and they pull whiskey from that barrel and they put it in bottles. That's the very basic understanding of this. But
nerds.
for all intents and purposes, look at all this. Like,
look at that label. That is a nerd label.
For all intents and purposes, this is a rye whiskey.
Man, I love me some rye. Goodness, if you
would have to prove that that's rye.
If
I
you
am not
want,
getting a single rye note.
If you want to find my heart, give me some rye.
I would have to watch them distilling this to believe that this is a rye.
Theoretically, the idea is that the end product has some of the oldest whiskey of those barrels in it. The grains that they are using are raw rye, so unmalted rye, malted rye, and Ohio blue corn.
Well, at least Ohio did something right. That blue corn. We all guessed over the ocean, and this traveled probably among the least.
So this is Quantum Spirits, which is out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so we're talking 15 miles away.
I have their
bitters.
Their bitters. Great bitters too.
Great bitters. When it comes to like this series, they're doing a copper and a silver and a gold. They haven't released
Not bronze. Bronze is not an element.
Yeah, that's probably why, actually. That's probably why.
I answered my own question.
They have the little copper right here. They haven't actually released gold yet because they haven't had anything old enough, I guess. Or
Is that what the difference is? Is age?
I guess. I don't understand the system.
How do you get a standardized product?
You don't. I don't think.
No, you do. The reason, the other people who use Solera, the people who started Solera,
the wines and the brandies.
They did it for consistency.
I think that's what I'm asking for, is about a consistent flavored.
Unfortunately, I can't answer you because I don't understand the system.
Yeah,
I've tried to understand it, but until I actually go somewhere, have them actually show me and do it. So guys, I've reached out to you guys, by the way. So if you could reach out again so we could talk, that'd be great.
I'm willing to pay $35 for something that's that local.
This local and this good.
Yeah. Something that's that local and that good, I'm willing to pay. I mean, I paid
and
more than I would normally pay for bitters.
And that's what I said, too.
But where's all these fig notes coming from? Actually, what are the notes on here? Oh, actually, pardon me. When I bought the bottle, they gave me a tasty notes card. Spicy was number one on their
Okay. If there's spice, I wouldn't call it spicy.
Followed by fruity, sweet, woody, winey. Which, okay.
Yeah, that would be like the jammy.
And fainty. And then very big body. Awesome young rye whiskey. Big spice and fruit. Caramel and honeycomb from the rye malt. Spicy and fruit notes from the rye. Well, anyways, that's what we think of this. Go buy it if you can. If you're not in Pennsylvania, you probably can't, but hopefully you can.
It's worth the trip to Pennsylvania to buy this whiskey.
And while you're here, also
and Pittsburgh's a cool city.
I mean, we have a lot of cool distilleries around us.
Yeah.
Until next time, may the winds of fortune sail us.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be the other guy who says, "This drink's on me."
Why are you all hesitant about that?
Because you screwed up your line.
What'd I say?
May the winds of fortune sail us.
Oh.
You get no fortune.